Hey there. Hello. Okay. Sorry about that. I thought I paused the video. So what's up, folks? This is Gregory Black, and this is the third recorded edition of Thoughts from the Chubby Guy. And in case you guys are wondering, yes, I'm just coming back from a workout. Yeah, I was working out outside. Can't you see? In my shorts. Leg day. Woo, glorious. Anyway, so you guys are probably wondering why I'm recording this edition, especially after the long hiatus that I took in posting up a Thoughts from the Chubby Guy. Well, as you guys know, I work in a factory, so for me, probably the best light I'm going to get being outside. For me, cross over to the bridge because it's really good light. They put LED lights. See? And yes, unfortunately, that is a homeless person that you see sleeping on the floor. It's really sad, man. I hate seeing that shit. Cursed on the video. Oh. Never said my thing was for the faint of heart. Anyway. So, besides getting swamped with work, I also happen to have an opportunity while at work to check out the Olympics whenever I'm on break and stuff like that. Because usually they have on CNN, which I guess is a good thing because, you know, we get to find out about our presidential candidates. Sorry about that. But on top of everything else, yeah, this is a good spot. I'm almost by my house anyway. These Olympics have been pretty thrilling. And to be quite honest, I hope I didn't turn it off. To be quite honest, to say that they've been anything less than thrilling would be a lie. It would be an over-exaggeration. I mean, think about it. Two major things. We've had the first African-American to win a gold medal in swimming in Simone Manuel. And we've seen, what was it? I cannot pronounce her last name. Her first name is Sonic. Sorry about that. It's kind of loud. But I believe, what was it? Young lady from the Ukraine that actually won the gold in gymnastics on the, what was it? On the balance beam? She won the gold for the balance beam. She knocked Simone Biles, which is insane. But if you really watch that balance beam competition, everybody was slipping on that sucker. So it's just like, not surprising. I got to see that during one of my breaks, during lunch, as a matter of fact. Crazy. Everybody was slipping on that. Anyway, getting back to what I wanted to say. But I wanted to talk about those two firsts. because the other first was Monica Puig of Puerto Rico winning not only the first women's gold from the island, but to also win the island's first gold in the Olympics. It's crazy, and it's something that, as a Puerto Rican myself, I can honestly say I'm proud of. I'm happy for. I mean, look, I'm not your typical Puerto Rican from New York. I don't sit there and, flag wave on the first or second weekend of June. I'm not one of those, I'm only Puerto Rican on the Puerto Rican Day parade, but I'm just at whatever every other day of the year. No. I'm Puerto Rican every day of the year. That's why I don't really go crazy on Puerto Rican Day. On, Puerto Rican Pride Day and stuff. So, But the reason why I'm talking about Simone Manuel and Monica Puig is because I read two articles that were in regards to both of these stars, both of these athletes. The first I want to comment on, though, is the one that kind of caught my eye and got me a little angry. And it was an article written by Rory Grant of Freedom Daily, who took it upon himself to chastise Simone Manuel over something she said after she won the gold. Apparently, he and apparently a couple of readers that read his article or read their article had an issue when she made mention of police brutality in America and made mention of her being proud of being, the first African American to win a gold in the swimming competition, and an African American woman at that winning gold in the Olympics. Apparently, he took up issue with the fact that A, she mentioned police brutality, and B, she mentioned she was black. He was like, this whole thing with mentioning police brutality and blah, 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 blah. I wish I could bring up the article, but I'm using my actual cell phone, which, I use to surf the web and everything, and I wish I could do that, but I would have to turn off the camera, and I really, really do not want to do that. However, the reason I take issue with what he said was because he or she, no, that's a he, I'm tired also, forgive me, so, because of the fact that he said that she embarrassed the nation just by saying what she said during an interview after she won the gold. How did she embarrass the nation? How did she embarrass the country? What? Was it the fact that she mentioned, that there's a police brutality problem in America, and that the police brutality problem happens to primarily be focused, well, at least as far as the media is concerned, not even as far as the media is concerned, generally, the police brutality problem happens to be a problem that everybody freaking faces, and on top of everything else, that a vast majority of African Americans happen to be victims of police brutality. I mean, sure, you can leave it up to debate on what, on every little knick-knack and all that other stuff, and people who actually, try to say, oh, well, there's the police brutality problem isn't as bad for the African American, community as people say they are. Like to bring up this list of things that this FBI report from 2012. It is an FBI report from 2012, people. We are in 2016. 2012, we are 4 years later. 4. This is not this year. This isn't even last year. This is 4 years later. You don't think that the averages that were pulled up in that report couldn't have gone just a little bit higher? Just a little bit? You don't think that there's a possibility that, I don't know, that the number of homicides between the police and the African American community, as opposed to the police and the white, I don't Caucasians in America, couldn't have, gone up a little bit? Just saying. Things happen, and it's been a few years since that report. My whole thing is, she's a young woman who obviously made mention of a problem that's happening in America. A problem that's been addressed not just by the Black Lives Matter movement, not just by our politicians, but also by those within law enforcement. We're talking about a problem that affects everybody. But in a lot of cases, you see these problems affecting those in the African American community, as well as the Hispanic community, as well as the white community. But focus on who is out there who is actually tired of this issue. And this young lady did that. She made mention of it as a problem and hoped, her title, her medal win would be something that good. Hold on. Goddamn New York Post. It's a Republican publication in New York. They say they're, fair and balanced, but let's face it, they're a Republican publication in New York. Because if you're not Republican, you're getting bashed. But anyway, here's this young lady that's pretty much expressing her feelings, expressing her thoughts on a very, very sticky situation that happens to affect everybody in the country right about now. And maybe she was expressing it, saying it, as something that this is something she's very concerned about. I mean, she's a young woman who lives in this country. Maybe she might not have ever faced that kind of situation in her life. Maybe she has. We don't know, because I don't know her personally. But to be quite honest, that doesn't necessarily mean that if she went anywhere else in this country, she wouldn't be confronted with that kind of situation, whether it was brought to her or she was just in the area and witnessed it happening to someone else. She's not allowed to say her concerns and to speak out about her thoughts and opinions on the matter. Come on. I thought we lived I thought we were supposed to be, America. We were supposed to have freedom of speech. We're supposed to have everything. I understand the games are taking place in Rio, but could you, if you feel offended by the fact that she expressed her thoughts, maybe you should just not pay attention to what she's saying. Because obviously you already disregarded what she was saying as, she's just being troublesome. Hold on, let me check the time on this. Okay, we're 13 minutes in. But obviously what she was saying bothered you to the point that maybe, I feel offended. Well, if you feel offended, maybe you should look at the problem from someone else's perspective. Maybe you should look at the problem and think, well, if this, why is it that she would make mention of something like this, especially on the grandest stage of them all? I mean, if it wasn't a problem, she probably wouldn't have felt motivated to speak about it in the first place. I mean, come on, common sense. Overall, I don't think she was wrong in saying what she said and expressing her feelings. And she wasn't wrong in pretty much talking about how she was proud as a young black woman to be able to represent, America the way that she did, and to represent her community for this country. She wasn't wrong at all. And there's nothing wrong with having any kind of pride. Remember, I've said this in one of the other TFTCGs. There's nothing wrong with having pride in your nationality. Just don't be a dick and trample over everyone else who wants to have pride in theirs. She didn't do that. So why is it an issue? But I digress. I think I've spoken enough about that matter. Let's just say that those who feel offended by it, well, go get yourself a diaper change and shut the hell up. Now on to the thing about Monica Puig's title. Well, I keep saying title. Medal win. Okay. A lot of people seem to think that because Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, it's a commonwealth of the United States, that her gold medal wins should be tacked on to the gold medal wins of the United States. So far, the United States has had 1,001 gold medal wins in the Olympic Games. And I'm not just talking about this year, obviously. I'm talking about cumulative over every Olympics that's ever happened in time since America's been around and they've been able to compete in the Olympics, obviously. Puerto Rico has one. And apparently people on Twitter feel that, because it's a U.S. territory, it should count as a U.S. gold medal. It shouldn't count as Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico shouldn't even be considered its own separate nation. It should be a representative of the United States, blah, 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 yada, 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 yada. Listen, people. You have 1,001 gold medals all time in every Olympic competition you've ever been in, that this country has been able to be in. We have one. You have 1,000 more. Think about that. Think about how big this is for a tiny nation that first was run by the Spaniards, then was liberated by the Americans, then was virtually turned into a freaking resort by the American government, and also part of us became a test ground for freaking military firearms and explosives. Yeah, there's a small island not too far from Puerto Rico where they test out bombs. But we're supposed to totally be okay with that. It's silly. It's silly and it's ridiculous. Because at the end of the day, you guys are pretty much your own sovereign country. I mean, you guys you've had your freedom since, the revolution. Us, granted, we're technically our own nation, but we rent out our island to the United States. So even though we still are considered our own nation, our own country, we have our own national anthem, we have, everything, we still utilize the U.S. dollar as our currency. We are still able to participate in U.S. politics. I mean, think about it. This presidential primary alone, we were able to decide whether Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders was going to represent the Democrats, and decide whether Donald Trump was going to win that territory, which Clinton and Trump won that territory. I believe Trump won that territory. I gotta look that up again. But I'm pretty sure he did. But anyway, a lot of people seem to think that because, PR is a U.S. territory, Monica Puig's gold medal win should count as a tally of the United States. No, you can't have that. What is it with Americans thinking, because you count as a U.S. territory, you should automatically count, anything you do should count as a success for the United States? No. Stop it. One, it ain't right. Two, do I need to refer to the 1,000 gold medals you have over us? I don't think I need to really make more of a point. The point that I am going to make, though, is this. Here's a woman who made history. Not just for the island, but for Hispanic women. For Puerto Rico, for women from the island. the first native of Puerto Rico to win a gold medal at the Olympics. The first female singles, the first women's singles player to win an individual gold medal for tennis. It's amazing. It's something that people like my niece, a lot of my female friends who happen to be Puerto Rican, they should be freaking proud of. And you want to take that away. Come on now. How ridiculous does that sound? I mean, at the end of the day, the U.S. is still going to have all those gold medal wins, all those silver medal wins, all those bronze medal wins. And PR is going to have that one gold medal win. Does it really matter that it's one gold medal? I mean, you can't ask that question to anyone who's Puerto Rican, because to us, it does. We don't have more than that one gold medal. So, of course, we want to be able to say, hey, someone from the island did it. Someone from the island represented the people of the island, played their damnedest and earned that, fought for that, trained hard for that, and achieved that. So to all you people that want to take that away, no, you're not allowed to take that away. I don't give a damn about your feelings. I don't give a damn if you feel that I'm wrong, because I'm not. I don't give a damn if you feel offended by the fact that I told you no, that it shouldn't be considered as such. I'm offended by the fact that you want to take this away from us. I'm offended. So I think that you should just leave that win alone and hope that an American representative can do that at the next Summer Olympics. And maybe, you never know, it could be someone of Puerto Rican descent that lives in the U.S. that decides, you know what, I feel like representing the U.S. this time. That does it. At that point, what can you say? They chose to be represented. They chose to be a representative of the U.S. Then at that point, can't really say anything. Can you? Nope. Anyway, folks, let me leave you off with this. Because this one has been about, all about the ladies, all about all about empowering the ladies. That sounds so wrong. I sound like such a freaking... I sound like one of those stereotypical lover boy types. Oh, the ladies. The ladies. No. I have a lot of nieces. I have my sisters. I have so many female friends. So many female friends and female acquaintances, family members. And I feel that whenever something big like this happens, they should feel empowered. And I feel like even those who are readers to the site, those who come and visit, to read the articles, not just from myself, but from our awesome writing staff here on thesportsjunkies101.com, which is the with an A at the end. Yep, cheapless self-promotion. Oh, cheap self-promotion, I should say. But anytime you have something like this, I think this is something that should be embraced and should be celebrated. This shouldn't be left for debate. Oh, well, they represent this nation. Oh, well, they spoke out about this issue. No. I think the fact that these people worked as hard as they did to achieve what they achieved should be celebrated, and the conversation should be just left at that. Because at the end of the day, how would you feel if one of your family members had dozens of people that you didn't know trying to degrade and, trying to downplay what they did simply because of the fact that, oh, well, they shouldn't have said this and blah, 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 or because of your nationality, because, oh, well, this person, da-da-da-da-da, is from this nation, and their nation is associated with this nation, that blah, 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 blah. You see how stupid, you sound doing that? I know I sound kind of blah, 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 while talking during this entire thing, but don't mind me, I'm still kind of tired. Anyway, folks, this is Gregory Black, wishing all of you a very, very pleasant week, a very wonderful day, very easygoing weekend, and, if there is someone in your life that you feel should be empowered, do that. Try to utilize those 2 wins, and not just those 2 wins, but every win that are whichever country that you happen to be cheering for. Try to use those as inspiration to try to motivate those around you to achieve great things. I mean, these people worked hard towards their goals, and they're achieving their goals. Yeah, some places are walking out of there empty-handed, but some aren't. At the end of the day, just being able to actually get to perform at the level that they performed on, that might just be, worth its weight in gold, or silver, or bronze, or even that weird pewter medal thing they used to give at those intramural games. The types. Well, you competed, but anyway, folks. Yeah, I know I just said goodbye. But anyway, leave it alone. I gotta get upstairs. I actually have to get to training tomorrow. So I'll see you around, folks. Oh, and any information, you can find me on Twitter. Follow TSJ on Twitter at TSJ_sports. You can follow me on Twitter at Greg Necro Black. That's all one word, straight across. And I guess I'll see you around, folks. This has been another Thoughts from the Chubby Guy. I guess this counts as a Necro Black vlog also. Screw it. It's just the Thoughts from the Chubby Guy. Later.